What's going on? Today is number 5 of the A.P.P.L.E series, and this time we're talking about educators. Like I said in the last video, I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. No promises. But the educator, the definition, we're back to definitions, is the person or persons in charge of the process of growth in dance. Okay? So they are guiding, they are the boundary lines guiding the process of growth for your child or children, if you have multiple children. I kind of revert to one child because at least one of your kids will be going. Besides the point. So, what is the significance of that? Okay? The significance of the educator, the person in charge of the process of growth, is that they have the biggest influence on your child. More than parents, more than teachers, more than pastors, more than police officers, more than librarians. Yes, absolutely. Because if you remember the video, if you haven't watched the video, watch the third one where I talk about programs. Great video, if I do say so myself. Boom. But the idea is this person is giving you so much more, your child, so much more than dance. Okay? They are influencing, the influence that they have on your kid reaches into like so many different categories of things, right? So it's like dance training, yes. Fitness, yes. Body image, absolutely. Teamwork, focus, attention, persistence, goal setting, goal meeting, and one of the biggest ones that I see a lot is the correct response to failure or success. Based off of whether they fail or succeed at something, a task, an exercise, a goal, their teacher will inform them how they should respond. That affects them for their whole life. Okay? Because if you've ever seen someone respond unhealthily to failing or success or succeeding, it's like they learned that as a kid. Or at least as a teenager. And it just gets more solidified if you go in dance training from a kid to a teenager. Because then it's like, oh, I've learned this enough to the point where I'm starting to use the things that I have learned in my everyday life. Right? So it's like, oh, I'm filtering this through this framework of this is how you respond to success or failure. Right? Their dance teacher taught them that. And it's both beautiful and tragic, right? Because I'm not going to pretend like every single dance experience is traumatic, right? There are people who are giving quality life lessons in regular everyday scenarios, right? It's like, hey, you failed at this thing. Does that mean you're a bad person? I've heard students say this, and I've said it not in those words, but it's like, does that affect you as a person? As I think about it, and they're like, no. I'm like, absolutely not. You are still awesome. I just want you to do this dance correctly. That's all it is. And they're like, oh, so I don't have to hate myself because I failed at something. No, what? No. Absolutely, no. No. However, on the other end of the spectrum, you have people who they don't even have to ask or have the conversation. They know that their teacher is teaching them that they should punch themselves in the face every time they fail at something. And if they succeed, then everything is normal. No, life has both, right? So, your job, if you choose to accept it, is to look at the scenario that you're about to step into, okay? You're about to choose a studio, or you're already in a studio and you're kind of doing like a mental health dance training audit for your child. You're like, let me check out these people real quick. I never really thought about it. Okay? And you're sitting here and you're thinking, do I want my child to be like this person? Or think like this person at all? In any kind of way? Because most people don't ask the question. They're just like, well, my kid's getting dance training. And it's like, no, it's not just dance training. It's so much more. That's besides the point. But even then, you should still always ask. If you get to the same conclusion, like, are we at a good studio? Process, question, answer, yep. Then you stay. But if you find out that you're like, this person is a communist, it's like, no, you're not going to teach my kid to punch themselves in the face because they fail, or like have kind of some kind of like teamwork response to anything, right? Like, no, I don't. You don't work in teams, and if your team is failing you, you need to switch teams. What? No. What? No. Stop. Like, well, this is a style that maybe your body just isn't built for. What? No. Stop that. What are you doing? No, get away from my kid. Right? I don't have children, but that's what I would do if I was a parent, right? And so you're like, okay, now I can make the decision of like, hey, we're going to slowly wean ourselves out or completely drop out of the studio and go somewhere else that is going to give my kid what they want and what they need in a healthy way, right? So the educator, technically you're in charge of the person who's in charge of the education process, right? They work for you. You are paying them in order for them to teach your child. So you have the decision-making power. You have choices. So if you want your kid to learn something in a healthy way, do it. Do it. Do it. Right? And like I said last time, all 5 of these things blend together. Okay? Incentive. What is the incentive of the studio or dance business? Price point. How much are you paying for what you're getting? Programs. What is the direction of the development that is happening to our child? They're learning dancing, but what else are they learning? Okay. Location. Qualify the things that connect to the studio, and now put it in a specific place. Is this a heavyweight or is it a lightweight? Okay. And now finally, educator. Once you're in the studio and you are going, who is influencing your child? Who is your child becoming like? That's a better question to ask. Okay? What are they learning from them? Like I said, in the direction. When I said the programs, that was more the direction of development because they're learning something through dance. Now, as people, the educator is really affecting the person. How is my kid growing? Who is my kid growing into because of this person, this educator, this dance educator? Okay? So all 5 of those things will overlap in some kind of way, and you need to make like a specific decision because there are studios that you will love and instructors that maybe bounce around to other studios that you will love and communities that will make your child like the next amazing president of the United States or owner of an amazing company or creator of a nonprofit that changed people's lives. Right? This is your child. This is the little human that you're responsible for, right? So it's like that is just one more brick in the building that is your kid's life. Okay? So this is very important things, and I promise you do not have to settle while I'm finishing this 5-part series. Okay? There is no settling. There are places that are phenomenal, like phenomenal people all over the world. Okay? Share this with a friend. I promise they'll at least start thinking. And if they stay in the same place, that's awesome. That means they feel more comfortable making that they made a good decision. You gotta at least think about it. Yeah? If you have questions, hit me up in the comments below or at beathunterdance.com. Boom, beathunterdance.com. Have a great day.